Today in history. What if I told you that one date on the calendar destroyed the Napoleon name twice? Not once, twice. 41 years apart. Same month, same day, different century, different continent, different Napoleon, but the same haunting outcome. Today is May 5th, and this is the story of a curse that history forgot to mention. To understand the curse, you have to understand the man. Napoleon Bonaparte was not supposed to rule the world. He was born on a tiny island called Corsica, the son of a minor nobleman. Short, overlooked, foreign accent. But by his 30s, he had conquered most of Europe. Kings feared him. Emperors negotiated with him. His name alone made armies tremble. At his peak, Napoleon controlled an empire stretching from Spain to the borders of Russia. He rewrote legal systems. He redrew maps. He crowned himself emperor, not waiting for anyone else to do it. There was a moment in history where one man's will shape the fate of hundreds of millions of people. That man was Napoleon Bonaparte. But every empire has a ceiling. Napoleon's came in Russia. His invasion in 1812 was catastrophic. 500,000 soldiers went in. Barely 100,000 came out. Then came Waterloo in 1815. Defeated, exiled, first to the island of Elba, then to an even more remote prison, a tiny rock in the middle of the South Atlantic Ocean called St. Helena. On May 5, 1821, Napoleon Bonaparte took his last breath. He was 51 years old. The man who had once made Europe shake died alone on a prison island 1,200 miles from the nearest continent. His last reported words? France, army, head of the army, Josephine, not strategy, not glory, just names, just loss. Napoleon Bonaparte was gone. But the name? The name survived. His nephew, Louis Napoleon Bonaparte, grew up in the shadow of that legend. And he was obsessed with it. He used the Bonaparte name like a weapon. And eventually, he too seized power, declared himself Emperor of France, and called himself Napoleon III. By the 1860s, Napoleon III was looking for glory of his own. Mexico was in financial chaos, unable to pay its debts to European nations. Napoleon III saw his opportunity. He would send the French army to Mexico, install a puppet emperor, and turn the Americas into a French sphere of influence. It was bold. It was ambitious. It was very Napoleon. In 1862, 6,000 French soldiers landed on Mexican shores. They were some of the finest troops in the world, veterans of wars in Europe and North Africa. Their mission was simple: march to Mexico City, take control, and make it quick. The Mexican army, by comparison, was under-equipped, underfunded, and facing the most powerful military force on the planet. Waiting for them near the city of Puebla was a Mexican general named Ignacio Zaragoza. He had roughly 4,500 soldiers, many of them indigenous fighters with old weapons and limited supplies. But what they had, the French didn't fully count on: the home ground, the high terrain, and a refusal to run. Zaragoza looked at his men and made a promise. Mexico would not fall today. On May 5, 1862, the French attacked. Twice they charged. Twice they were repelled. The Mexican defenders used the terrain masterfully, fighting from fortified positions on high ground while the French struggled through muddy fields and relentless fire. After hours of brutal combat, the French commander gave the order to retreat. The impossible had happened. The French lost nearly 500 soldiers that day. The Mexicans lost fewer than 100. A vastly outnumbered, outgunned, under-resourced army had just handed the most powerful military force in the world one of its most humiliating defeats of the century. And it happened on May 5th, the same date the first Napoleon had died, 41 years before. Here's what history textbooks skip over. Napoleon Bonaparte, the original, died on May 5, 1821, a prisoner stripped of everything he built. His nephew, Napoleon III, sent his army to conquer Mexico, and on May 5, 1862, exactly 41 years later to the day, that army was destroyed. The Bonaparte name lost on the same date on opposite ends of the world. Most people think Cinco de Mayo is Mexican Independence Day. It is not. Mexican Independence Day is September 16th. Cinco de Mayo is the anniversary of the Battle of Puebla, a single battle that became a symbol of something far larger. The idea that a smaller, poorer, less powerful nation could stand up to an empire and win. That is what the world celebrates every May 5th. Napoleon Bonaparte built the greatest European empire of his age and died a forgotten prisoner. Napoleon III tried to extend that legacy to the Americas and was stopped by farmers and indigenous fighters on a hill in Mexico. May 5th didn't just take Napoleon's life. It buried his name's ambition twice. Some dates in history carry weight. May 5th carries an empire. So here's what I want to know. History is full of coincidences that feel like something more. Napoleon Bonaparte died on May 5th. The Bonaparte army was defeated on May 5th. The same name, the same date, decades apart. Was it a curse? Was it karma? Or was it just history doing what history does, reminding the powerful that no empire lasts forever? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one.